Hello guys, this is Broly SS Guy and I'm back with another video. And right now I'm going to talk about the movie called Imaginary, which is a horror movie that came out not too long ago. And we're going to get into it. Now, this movie is going to be spoilers. Alright? I'm doing a spoiler movie. So if you don't want to hear about spoilers, go ahead on and leave. I'll give you guys some time to leave right now because there's going to be spoilers in this movie. Alright. Now we will be starting the spoilers. Now we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, before we get to the good, bad, and ugly, we're going to talk about the actual story itself. Now, this movie is based upon uh, a lady, the stepmother. She has three kids, right? But before we get to that, in the very beginning of the movie, the lady, the stepmother, is going to have a dream about a spider chasing her, a creature chasing her, and you're gonna see also a black guy in the movie that's being that has his tooth like taken out of his mouth, and something pulls. It was like attacking him. You couldn't see it, but like you see the father like clutching his stomach and something like that probably. And then the lady wakes up. Right, that was her dream, the stepmother. Now we're gonna fast forward a little bit. Her husband, and her stepchildren moved their to her old house that she grew up in, the house that she had that dream in of her imaginary friend attacking her and her father. Right now, she moves back to her old house. She doesn't remember what happened to her as a child. Anyway, the little girl, Alice, the daughter, the youngest one, she actually starts hearing voices in the new house, and the voice leads her all the way up to this door in the basement, and the door happens to have a little stuffed animal named Chauncey. So the little girl grabs Chauncey, takes him upstairs in the room, and they start playing games, imaginary games, whatever you want, at the little table. Anyway, the stepmother was supposed to like have a actual playtime with the little girl named Alice. She's supposed to like play hide and seek with her. But the little girl says, "No, mom. Like, I'm good. I have Chauncey. You're not needed. Goodbye." Basically, like that, right? So, the mother didn't think nothing of it. She's like, "Okay, whatever." The stepmother. So remember now, there's two girls. There's one that's older. Forgot her name, and the youngest one name was Alice. Though she's the baby, right? So anyway, uh, the bear Chauncey starts having a girl like the bear Chauncey starts talking to the girl, right? And the stepmother and the father heard her talking through a vent in the bathroom, right? And they were like, okay, she's talking to her imaginary friend, okay? But they didn't hear the voices talking back. They just heard the girl talking. So eventually, the stepfather, I'm sorry, the husband, he ends up leaving. He goes somewhere. It's kind of like business trip or something. Probably I can't remember what it was. Anyway, he goes somewhere. So now it's just the three girls. It's the mother and Alice and the oldest daughter, right? Now they don't like Alice. They don't like the mother too much, especially the oldest daughter. She doesn't really like Alice. I'm sorry, she doesn't really like the mother too much because I guess she feels that that's not her real mom. I don't know, but that's her stepmother. Anyway, so Chauncey and Chauncey's the bear. Chauncey and Alice become really close friends. You'll start to actually see the bear talk. Well, you'll hear it talk from to Alice, whatever. Like you don't see the mouth move, you just hear it like talking to her. Now, one of my problems with this part is when he's talking to her. it's almost as if it's the same voice from the little girl, but more like of an evil type of voice. Like it was hard to be like, okay, why does the bear sound like Alice? You know what I mean? But I think the reason why they did that because they wanted you to feel as though it's her imaginary friend. If she's imagining it, how it was taught, it would sound like somewhat like her. You know what I mean? But more of a evil twist to it. But it sounded like the little girl. It did. So like to me, that was a minus off of the movie. Like they could have had somebody play that role of the bear with a better voice than that, in my opinion. But that was one thing I didn't like. Okay, now moving on. The bear starts to have this little girl do all kinds of like. Well, hold on, before we get to that, now before we get to that part, now there's a neighbor that lives beside the lady, right? The neighbor was actually the the mother's babysitter, and she was talking to the lady, the mother, outside about her past with her. Like, I used to babysit you. Used to always be all over the place in your house, writing on walls, right? Drawing like creatures and everything. And you had an imaginary, and she was trying to tell her about her imaginary friend that she had, but she got cut off because the oldest daughter got her name, talking about she was hungry and she wanted some food. First, the little girl said she was hungry, and she kind of like threatened the girl with her bear Chauncey. She was like, "Look, I'm hungry. If you don't get us our food, I'm gonna have Chauncey eat that lady or something like that." She said Chauncey's hungry too, and he was like, he might end up eating you. Talking about the old lady, right? So the old lady looks at the little girl and she was like, mind your manners. Grown folks are talking. And then the oldest kid comes out, somebody, yeah, look, we hungry. Are you gonna cook? We're gonna have to do it ourselves. So the old lady's like, pretty much saying like you got some bad, mannered kids. Like, wow, like really. So anyway, the mother has no backbone whatsoever to these kids, and it's just weird that she's let the kids walk all over her like that in the movie too. That's another thing I didn't like about the movie. Like they just walked all over that lady. So she had no backbone. You know what I'm saying? Like none whatsoever. Now, um, so later throughout the movie, you're gonna start seeing Chauncey have the little girl write up a list of good things, bad things. Like it was a game, right? The list was a game for her to like gain access to the imaginary world. Once she get all these things that written down off the list and do it, she would actually be able to like go into Chauncey's world and see his friends and also like have fun down there, right? So the list goes like a list of like things that make you sad, things that make you happy, things that make you hurt, things that bring you pain, stuff like that. But things that disgust you or bugs. She had to get a jar full of bugs. She had to like things that hurt. She had to like take a picture from her stepmom drawing. She tore it off. She knew that hurt her mom by doing that. Great pain. Anyway, um, so Chauncey was trying to make her like hurt her hand with a nail. Everybody saw that in the trailer, right? So he made the nail look like it was a flower, and the mother catches it just in time and stops her from like inflicting pain on herself with her hand, because she was going to like pretty much run the nail through her hand by looking like a flower, right? So once that happens, the mother calls in a psychiatrist, and this is another problem I had. The psychiatrist, her, I don't know what when she is, but like her accent was so strong, it was hard to understand what she was saying. It was like jibber jabber, like, it was like really hard to understand what she was saying as well. Even a little girl too, her voice is so like micey. It was hard to understand her too as well. So like, those are the problems I had too. Was the voice acting? Now I can understand a little girl because she's young and like at that age, like a lot of kids sound like mice when they talk, and then what I mean, like it's just really squeaky and like it was hard to understand what she was. That was just for me, guys. I don't know what was the rest of you guys, but like For me, it was hard to understand what she was saying too much as far as the little girl. And even with that older, that psychiatrist, I don't know what she was, but like her accent was so strong, it was just like blah 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 blah. Blah. To me, that's how it sounded. I'm sorry. Anyway, so the lady was trying to figure out what's going on with this little girl while she's trying to hurt herself, but only because the mother had set up the meeting for it to happen. So the lady, the psychiatrist, gets the camera, has the little girl go in the room. The little girl says, "Look, I need Chauncey." So we had Chauncey in here too. They bring Chauncey into the room. Now, she's the psychiatrist tells the girl, "Okay, look, start talking. I want to know what's going on between you and Chauncey. You know what's going on with you guys." So the little girl starts talking, right? And you hear her and Chauncey arguing with each other. And it really did sound like she was arguing with herself, you know. And the lady had the camera set up so like you can see the back of the little girl's head. You don't even see Chauncey, you just see the little girl's head, right? And you hear them arguing back and forth. Chauncey gets mad and tells the little girl, the lady is stupid in her stupid book. I'm gonna hurt her. I'm gonna hurt her. And she's like, no, 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 right? That's Chauncey saying that. So the little girl starts getting really upset, and she looks back at the psychiatrist, and it stops there, right? So the little girls run out of the room. She's like, you know, she goes to her room. She goes, Chauncey hates me, and the oldest daughter's like there to, you know, comfort her, whatever. So the mother is like, okay, what happened to Alice? Like, what's wrong with her? So the psychiatrist is like, look, I don't ask you a question. Does your daughter know how to do ventriloquism? And the mother's like, no, why would you ask that? She was like, well, we got a problem. She says, what? And she goes, I gotta show you something real quick. And then the mother looks at the video recording and she sees the back of the little girl's head, right? And she hears two voices arguing with each other. So when the little girl turns her head back toward the camera, you can still hear the voice of Chauncey talking, even when the little girl had her mouth like open wide, kind of. But it was kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but like she looked back at the camera, you could tell she didn't say those words that the sound put out, put it that way. So she was like, wait, what the hell? Where's the voice coming from? Cause look, when she turns her head back, Chauncey's not even sitting in that little chair. Because the little girl, when she first came in that room with that bear, she's supposed to have put the bear in that chair, right? So she's supposed to be talking like face to face with that bear, face to face to the bear. But in that video recording, it didn't even show the bear at all. So the mother's like, wait, where's Chauncey? And then the lady, the psychiatrist, like, who's Chauncey? And the mother's like, the bear that she's talking to. And then the psychiatrist like, there is no bear. It was just her. And that's why the lady felt like, the psychiatrist felt like Alice could throw her voice or like a ventriloquist. She thought that she could put her voice into that chair and had a chair talk back to her. That's what she thought, right? So, the mother's like, no. I've been seeing this bear everywhere this little girl was walking around, right? So the mother goes get her phone out because early in the movie, they showed the little girl playing with Chauncey in her room at the little table, right? So the mother had got her phone in early in the movie and recorded it part. She goes back to her phone, look at that part of her phone of the video of her and her little girl playing with the animal at the table. She looks at it again. This time she doesn't even see the bear. She's like, what's going on? Like, why did I not see the bear? This is crazy. Then she goes ask the oldest daughter, hey, look, you remember the Chauncey the bear? She's like, yeah, that's Alice's imaginary friend. I had never seen him because he's imaginary, duh. So the mother's like freaking out, like, this is not right. So then she goes back into that the lady, the psychiatrist, and she has a video of past kids that had the same issue, and one of the kids like cut off his thumb in pain. He had a bear too, I guess. And the boy kept on saying never ever alone or never ever alone. And once she heard that, the mother had a flashback of her childhood, and she goes downstairs in real time. She goes downstairs in real time though to go check on her things as a kid in a box, right? That she had called, oh yeah, you know what? Her name is Jessica. I think that's the mother's name, Jessica or Jessie. I think it is. Anyway, uh, in the box of stuff that she had, it was pictures of drawings of Chauncey and also the words of "Never Ever Alone." And she's like, "Oh my God, this is my childhood. My childhood imaginary friend is also her childhood imaginary friend, but her childhood imaginary friend wasn't Chauncey's name. It was the name of a guy named her. She named the thing CB. CB. That was the imaginary friend's name. But now it's Chauncey for the little girl. That's the name that he gave to her, right? That's the little name that he goes by from to the little girl, something by Chauncey. So anyway, that happens. The old lady, the psychiatrist leaves the house. Okay, now I guess Chauncey feels as though like, you know what, it's time to move things up because they're getting too suspicious about me. So Chauncey decides to have the little girl go ahead on and speed up the process of her uh, making the doorway to go into the actual imaginary world. So that ends up happening. She does all the rituals, and they go through the portal of the world in the basement, right? The little imaginary world. Now, the mother and the daughter actually finds out that the girl's missing, so they start looking for her. They check everywhere in the house, even check downstairs. They couldn't find her. So the girl goes outside. The oldest daughter goes outside, starts yelling at her name. Alice, Alice, where are you? And all of a sudden, the neighbor, which is the neighbor of the mother, stepmother, which is also the babysitter of the stepmother, sees the girl, brings her in the house, and starts talking to her and lets her know, like, look, I know what's going on. I know that the girl's missing. And what's going on is she has an imaginary friend, which is the same friend that your stepmother has. And now I'm gonna tell you what's going on with this situation, and I want to help you guys. So they end up going to um, the house of the stepmother and the daughter. As far as the old lady goes there too, and she explains to the mother, like, look, I used to, this has happened to you before, and I'm used to this. I'm here to help. Blah blah blah. So, um, she tells her mother that she needs to grab the material that she used before, as far as the list that Chauncey had for the little girl. She needed that same exact kind of list for herself. Now, the mother had a list. She took a picture of the list that the little girl had on her phone earlier in the movie. So she still had that list in her phone. So all she had to do was like look at her phone and go by what she did for Chauncey. With the little girl different Chauncey, she had to do that for herself while as a mother. So she does that, get all the ingredients and everything she need, and she grabs a pair of scissors for pain, right? Stabs herself and doesn't work. It starts to work for a little bit, but it wasn't enough pain for her to like go through the portal. So she had to end up saying something hurtful to her stepdaughter about her mom. The stepdaughter's mom was crazy or something like that. So she says something bad about that, and it ends up having the portal being open. So they go through the portal, and once you go through the portal, you see this whole new world of like imaginary stuff, right? Imaginary world. Now, the old lady goes through the portal with them, right? With the daughter and a stepmother, and she's all like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is nice. This is so wonderful, and this is what I expected." And she's she reveals the secret. Like, look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've been working with the imaginary friends to lure you in here, and she actually shuts the door so they can't escape back out to the real world, right? So she's like, "Yeah, look, it's gonna be okay." She's an older lady on top of that, right? She had a lot of gray hair and everything. She's like, "We could be young again. I could be healthy again. I could be young again. I could live forever here, and we all could be happy here. And she's like, they promised me to be here forever, to be happy. And she's like walking backwards, right? And when she's walking backwards towards these doors, one door opens up, and it's pretty much Chauncey. And you don't see his whole body; you just see this big claw like grabs her by her body and like drags her into the room and chomps her up, eats her up. The door shuts. You can't see what happens. All you see and hear is like blood like pouring out of underneath the door, and you hear a lot of loud screams and stuff. So that was like the only kill throughout that whole movie was that part. Okay, so keep going. So that happens. So what happens after that is Chance. Okay, the stepmother, and the daughter is still trying to find the girl Alice. They get separated. The daughter gets put into this room. The room has a little light on the floor, and the light on the floor is like projecting the uh, imagery of Chauncey on the wall, like as far as like him of his a light shadow of Chauncey, and they had an actual huge picture of Chauncey on the wall too as well. Now, once that picture lines up with Chauncey on the wall, as the actual picture, it came to life as the real Chauncey. Now, when that happens, the daughter tries to like stick in the unplug the no, she tried to plug back into the light back into the wall because she unplugged it so it stopped, right? But it was too late. The Chauncey appeared. She tried to plug it back up to make it go away, but instead the little girl Alice's like imaginary self appeared in front of the sister and scared her to like the wall. And once that happened, the stepmother, heard her by the wall and pulled her out of the room. Now they start looking for her again, and they find Alice, the little girl. They finally find her through all these doors and everything, like a maid. They found her. They finally found her, and she was in this room with all this pink stuff, with all these pink toys and everything, and she was just as happy as she can be, just playing with her little toys. And she had her actual mom in there as well. But the stepmother's like, no, look, this is not your real mom. This is imaginary mom. This is all imaginary stuff. It's time to go. So, um, the stepmother decides to make a doorway to like get themselves out of there. And the imaginary mom's like, I told you this was going to happen. I told you that she's not going to want to stay, right? Let's talk about the mother, the stepmother. So the little girl's like, look, you know what, mom, it's time for me to go home. So the mother, imaginary mother, gets mad and she tries to grab, I think, the little girl, like keep her from leaving, right? So the stepmother pushes off the imaginary mom into these boxes of like toys, and then the room just goes dark, like not completely dark, but like dark enough. Like it goes from like being sunny and pretty and everything to like being dark and blue with blue lights in the room and everything, and like it's kind of like real dark looking. And all of a sudden, Chauncey appears, the actual Chauncey bear, the one that's all like demonic looking. He appears in front of them and tries to stop them. So the little girl actually goes through. Alice goes through back in the portal, and also the oldest daughter. The stepmother decides to stay back for a little bit and try to lure Chauncey away from the little girl, and she succeeds with that. She drops down to like another level of the floor. Chauncey's chasing her, still, and she ends up like cutting Chauncey too, by the way, with a pair of scissors before she drops to the floor. So gets down there. Chauncey's still chasing her, and I forget what happened with Chauncey. Um, he's kind of hurt because like she stabbed him with something, and I think she actually killed Chauncey. I can't remember. Like he was hurting pretty bad, and she was talking bad to Chauncey, and Chauncey was like, still trying to kill her, but I don't know. Like he was just like worn out or some shit. I think he just drops down and dies. I don't remember what happened, but anyway, Chauncey's gone. Okay, put it that way. He just disappears. He just he drops down for some reason. I forgot what it was. But once that happens, the lady um had another. She like phased out and like she opens up her eyes and she's in this another world, and in the world, and well, she's not. Well, she's in another room, a room full of her family and friends, right? Which is her husband's there, her daughter is there, and plus that old lady. I think she was in the room too. I can't, if I'm mistaken. No, it was her dad too, right? It was her dad's room. That's what it was. And her dad was in the bed. It was imaginary though. It was all imaginative. It wasn't really happening. Like she was like everything was too perfect, right? Because like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we love you, we love you." Even the dad started talking to her too, right? Which is the dad was like kind of messed up in the head, right? So she figured like something ain't right because the little girl arm was missing a mark. It was missing her. She got burned in the movie. They didn't never show it, but like she got burned by her mom. That's why her mom got sent away probably. So when she saw that burn mark off her daughter's hand, her stepdaughter's arm, she knew then that it was imaginary. So all of them like actually like stopped pretending to be to be loving and caring and show their true identity. And the daughter, oldest daughter, Alice. I'm sorry, the oldest daughter came back into the world to help the mother out. She hits one of the a fake one, the fake uh, kids in the head with something, and they get knocked out. And all of a sudden, they start running back to the doorway, as far as the oldest daughter and the mother. And then one of those creatures turned to the spider demon, whatever. And the spider demon pretty much is representative of the lady's drawing because she's a drawer, she's an artist and also a writer. And the spider was pretty much her own creation that she drew. So the spider represented that. So the spider was chasing her to try to like capture her, right? So the girl gets to the portal, as far as the youngest one. No, sorry, the oldest one gets to the portal, the doorway, and the mother gets halfway through, but like the actual spider creature captures the daughter. I'm sorry, captures the mother like halfway through the portal. Like her torso is like halfway through, but yet her face is like still looking. Well, actually, no, her whole body's through the portal. Period. But what happens is the spider grabs her face, so it couldn't. So she couldn't like fully get out of the room, out of the imaginary room. So the spider was trying to put this trance on her to like mess up her mind. It could have did the same thing to the mother's father in the movie. They never show. Actually, I'm missing some stuff too, though. Okay, hold on. I gotta backtrack a little bit, guys. Now, in the realm when they first got in there, the stepmother sees this one room, and that one room showed her as a child, right? And it showed her running out of that from that portal of the imaginary realm. Well, they didn't show the portal; they just showed the imaginary realm at that point in time when she was running. And then they show her father actually coming out of that portal of the imaginary realm, right? And you see something grab her father, and there was that spider dude, and he was trying to like, he actually like shut out these bright lights out his eyes. It was like pretty much corrupting the guy's mind, whatever. And it's actually like turning his eyes white. So that's what happened early in the movie from the very beginning, right? But it was actually showing her what happened with her father right then and there inside that realm, because she didn't remember what happened to her dad. So that happened uh, in the in that realm. It showed her what happened to her as a kid and also her father as well. So that was what's going on at the end of the movie when the spider grabbed her. Like the spider was trying to do the same thing that she did to her father. Because what happened with her father was he lost his mind. He went crazy, and he ended up in a nut house, like he stayed in the bed all the time, and he just went crazy. And that's the reason why he went crazy, because of that spider. So the spider was trying to do the same thing to the mother and like have her go crazy as well, like her father. But yet, what happened was the little girl Alice saw what was happening to her stepmother, so she grabs a book of matches, and there was already like gasoline or something on the floor, and it was heading towards the doorway of of the spider. I'm sorry, the spider. Towards this imaginary door, right? So it went to the door, and it set the spider on fire, and the door closes. And what they did was they sealed the door off. What's it kind of like paint or something like that? And then they ran out, and the house is burned on. Set on the house is totally went in flames. So then they went ahead and got a hotel, just three of them. Because remember that the father went out of town somewhere. He wasn't there at the time. So he went out of town. So they get a hotel, the three of the girls, and all of a sudden they see this little bear's head in this chair. And somebody's like, the little kid was holding the little bear up. All you see is like the little top part of the head. And the kid's really small, so he couldn't see the full size of the bear. So when he see the bear, and they hear this kid talking to the bear, and they were like, "Oh no, 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 we're out of here." And then like you see the actual kid himself, and you see the bear in his hand, and it looked almost like Chauncey, like a little bit of a lot like Chauncey. And the boy is like just talking to him. After that, the movie just goes off, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you guys the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly, right? Now I'm gonna start with the bad first. My problem with the movie as far as being bad was the fact that the voice acting for the little girl, it was her voice was so squeaky, it was hard to understand what she was saying. But I expect that too, cause like they're kids and like at that age, kids have like a little squeaky voice, like a mouse, and they sound like really squeaky, so it's really hard to hear what you're saying. And as far as the adult, as far as the psychiatrist, she had a really strong accent. It was very hard to understand what she was saying as well. It was really strong accent. So those my two of my problems I had with the game. I'm sorry with the with the movie. And another problem I had too was the fact that it wasn't enough killing in it. So I was expecting since I saw that kind of monster that I was going to see a lot of like hardcore killing and all that kind of stuff. Like this thing's gonna be brutal, but nah. He was pretty much more of a jump scare kind of creature, and you only see one kill throughout the whole movie, and you don't even really get to see that because it happens behind the door, and all you do is get to hear is her kill somebody, and you see blood, which is the old lady he killed, and you see the blood like just pouring out underneath the door. That was it. So that's a big minus too. I'm gonna rate this out of 1 to 10. All right, so that takes off some points too. So another thing I didn't like too was the fact that Chauncey had told the girl like, hey, um, this is, I'm gonna say you get to see my friends. I got friends in the imaginary world, and we're gonna have fun. Blah blah blah. You go to the world and it's pretty much empty. You don't see nothing but like hallways and doors, and you don't see no kind of creatures. You don't see like a world full of like imaginary creatures roaming around the hallways or roaming around. It's not really like it's not even really like an open world like you would think it would be like far as like land or like nothing like that. It's pretty much in a actual like a building full of like doors. To me, that's how it was. Like a building full of doors, and to me, it wasn't that too much of imaginative as far as like how it could look. Like, okay, for instance, I'll give you an example, right? It just there's a movie called Little Monsters back in the day. And in that movie, it was a monster named Maurice. He had a friend named Fred, I think. Well, I know the boy name was Fred Savage. I can't remember his actual movie name in the movie, as far as the little boy, but I know his real name was Fred Savage. Anyway, um, Maurice took the kid down to his world. Now, in that world, you get to see all kinds of creatures and animals, or creatures and goblins or whatever you wanted to see that looks imaginary, but they're actual monsters, right? But they were all down there. You get to see all of them walking around, as a community, as as citizens in the world. You know what I mean? But in this movie, you don't see that. I was disappointed. I'm like, where's everything at? Where's all this imaginary stuff at? Like, where's all these imaginary creatures that I wanted to see? I want to see some crazy looking stuff, right? But nah, the movie is pretty much based upon just Chauncey and that spider. So that was another letdown for me. I was like, wow, I want to see more than just these guys. I want to see a world full of stuff. Like, But nah, that was very disappointing to me as well. But I still enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was different. It also kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland because the girl named Alice. And you remember in Alice in Wonderland, the little girl had found a doorway to open up and go to a whole other world. So it reminds me of Alice in Wonderland a little bit too, as far as that part. But the world was just empty, guys. You know what I mean? Empty. Full of doors though. A lot of doors to choose from. But like, as far as you expect to see like creatures roaming around and walking all over the place and on the walls or on even just being in the whole world full of like land or something like that, with green grass and trees or something like that. You don't see none of that. You just see hallways and hallways and doors and it was it was alright. But what got me in the movie though was like the fact that all this time Alice and that bear was playing together, it was never really there. You know what I mean? Like that was the trippy part of the movie because like it was remember it's supposed to be called it's called imaginary, right? Imaginary friends, imaginary. So it had us thinking that the bear was really there. See, my, see, but I didn't think about it like that. What I was thinking was like the bear was there, but like she's imagining that she's talking to it. You know what I mean? Because the bear looked like it was actually there. But once in the video, when the lady showed the footage of the bear not being there, and like the girl was just talking to her to the other side of the room, but it was talking back to her. That was a weird part right there. I was like, wow, that's creepy because you're not seeing nothing being there, but yet you can hear something talking back to you, like it was a ghost, but it's really her imaginary friend Chauncey. Now that part was really creepy, and also Chauncey himself, the bear, he was creepy. That bear was creepy because like he could transform into that huge monster, and I felt like that was a downfall too with the movie though, because like even though he could transform into that monster, he looked really cool looking and everything. He wasn't put to use as far as like being brutal. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to see some crazy stuff with this bear, like some biting off heads or something, biting torsos into two pieces or something like that. You know, like do you not see the choppers of this bear? Really? And y'all didn't put it to use at all? Come on, man. Chauncey, man. I don't know. He was just used for like jump scares, like I said, and I think that was a letdown too. So I'm gonna rate this out of 1 to 10. I gotta say I give it a 7, between a 6 or a 7. I would say 6. If it wasn't for Chauncey turning into that damn big ass bear, it'd be a 6. But since the bear looks so cool looking, I gotta give it a 7. At least out of 10, I give it a 7. It's not a 7.1, ain't no 7.2. This is a regular 7. Like it was an okay movie. It was something like it was entertaining, but it wasn't like nothing like oh my god, I can say this is an actual true horror movie. But I will say that for people that don't care about brutal, gory types of kills, and this is probably for you guys. And like something that's like soft, like a soft, uh, like a soft horror flick. You know what I'm saying? Very soft. You know, very delicate. It's nothing. It ain't nothing like Freddy Krueger or nothing like that. But it does trip you out a little bit because it goes to a lot of different worlds. Like you might see something that's happening, and all of a sudden it's just imaginative, like it never happened, or like it wasn't real. It was like an illusion. It happened, but it was an illusion. I can't take that back. It did happen, but it was an illusion of what happened, or it could just be a dream about something that happened as well. So it's a give or take. But anyway, I think that's about it as far as I can talk about part of this movie. Those are the goods and bad. The good part about the movie was the jump scares, the few jump scares that they did have, and what also made the movie creepy too is that the fact that the bear could like move around by like pretty much like teleporting. You don't actually see him walk around, but he can actually pop up. he can pop up here and there and everywhere you want to be because it's a imaginary area, right? And he can also like transform to that bear within like a blink of an eye. He can transform to this huge ass bear in a blink of an eye, and like it was so creepy that he could do that, right? So that was his true form. You know what I'm saying? Like that big ass bear was really him. Now, as far as that spider, he was okay. He pretty much stayed in the shadows a lot. You didn't see him too much, like unless it was like towards like the beginning of the movie when she was having a dream, and like towards the end of the movie when like she's trying to like get out of the realm. He was pretty much like the final boss. Like after Chauncey, like the spider was pretty much like the final boss, like the final one to get through the doorway. Um, he was okay. Like I said, he wasn't nothing like he wasn't that scary at all to me. But he was the one that had the most power out of Chauncey. Like for him to be able to like pretty much uh mess with your mind like that to like make you go crazy was pretty crazy. But other than that, like I said, I gotta say to you guys, I give it a 7 out of 10. Though, could have been much more scary than what it was. Same, and another thing too, like I said, like as far as that realm, like it could have been a whole lot better than what it's supposed to be to me. Um, like I mentioned with the Little Monsters movie with Fred Savage movie, with that realm, with the monsters, that was way better than me in my opinion. Like it showed all the monsters there, and it showed the world. It looks a lot more cooler than what we're seeing in this realm right here of the imaginary world. It isn't. It wasn't for it to be an imaginary movie of imaginary friends. You would think you'd see a lot more imaginative looking things in that world that was going on, but it was like a basic world with like a lot of doors, and it wasn't nothing like, oh my god, this is just so weird looking. Like I never seen this before because we've seen it before. You know what I mean? That's a lot of big hallways and a lot of doors. But that's it, guys. That's all I got to say about the movie. Hope you guys enjoyed the movie. There's things I left out because I ain't, I can't tell the whole movie. Some things I left out that it is what it is. But I think I covered most of the basic, more of the important things in the movie that you should know about. So this is a spoiler movie again for people, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And also, if you've seen the movie before, let me know how you feel about the movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you feel as though it wasn't scary enough, or did you feel as though it was scary enough for you because of you might not like things going too far or things being too scary. You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comment section how you feel about the movie Imaginary. I did enjoy it though. I'm not gonna say I hated the movie. I just a lot of things that could have been done better in my opinion. But other than that though, I give it a 7, and that's how I feel about it. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I also play video games as well. It's pretty much a gaming channel, but I also do movie reviews too. So I did one a while back on a movie called Us. I did one a while back on a movie called no, it was I think it was just Us. It was just the Us movie I did one on. And for me, when I do movie reviews, and I think I did one also on Thor: Love and Thunder. I did one of that movie review too on that one as well. So anyway, like I was saying, is I only do movies that I feel as though I like, that I will really enjoy it or not. And if I do enjoy it, I will talk about it. If not, I still talk about it. Only if I seen the movie. If I seen the movie and it caught my interest and I feel as though I need to talk about it, that's when I make my movie reviews. Other than that, I don't do them all the time. But this particular movie, I felt like I should say something about how I feel about it, and I want you guys to know my opinion, and I like to know you guys' opinion as well. So there we go. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Take it easy. God bless, and be easy.